All right. All right, guys. Welcome back. What we're gonna go through today is I want to give some organizational tips on RekordBox and how to set up RekordBox so that you are ready to go when DJing on CDJs. So a little background for those that don't know: in order to DJ on CDJs, you need to run your music through RekordBox. So and that's the way that the CDJ will pick up the song info and pick up the waveform, and that's where you set your cues and stuff like that. So the difference between RekordBox and Serato, I think one of the main things that I would just describe it as is that, with Serato, you have your laptop in front of you, as a tool, like for your library. You can search your tracks and find things quickly. With RekordBox, you can do that, but it depends on the CDJ that you have. You have to have the newer versions in order to be able to do like the search function. Um, and that's basically it. And on Serato, you could put cues on the fly and stuff like that. But with RekordBox, you can do that as well. But for the most part, you need to set everything ahead of time. Traditionally, RekordBox is used a little more for like in the electronic field, and almost everything else is with Serato. Um, the benefit with RekordBox is that you don't have to be carrying around your laptop. It's plug and play, pretty simple, pretty easy, makes it really easy to transition through DJs. But you do have that limitation where you have to run your stuff through RekordBox beforehand. So the way I put my music into RekordBox is the exact same way I do it for Serato. Basically, the way I have it set up for Serato is I have a designated music folder that I put all my music in, and then from this folder is where I drag and drop into Serato. Um, and so you can do the same thing with RekordBox, but the way I do it to kind of keep everything a little more organized is I will see, go to random set. I'll just I'll grab my crate from Serato, highlight everything, and open these up. Let's see. What set is this? Here. So it's perfect. What I'll do is I make my playlist in a crate in Serato, since that's mainly what I use to organize and stuff. And then I will drag the playlist straight over here to this playlist. And what's cool about it is that it keeps everything in order the way I set it up. And now these songs already have, some of them already have cue points, and these are the playlists that you make over here in Serato. You can make them just by going here, like playlist, create new playlist. So what it does is it copies over all the records in the order that you have them in Serato. And then now the what it doesn't copy over are the cue points and stuff. So these have cue points because I've already set them beforehand. But if you look at over here, like scroll down, this one doesn't have cue points and the grid is off. So that's the thing too, that with RekordBox you have to make sure that you're setting everything up properly, because if not, it's gonna not read right in the CDJ. So I'm gonna quit Serato. Okay, so now that we're in RekordBox, let's set up this song to be ready to play in a club through a CDJ using a USB. What you have to make sure you do is as long as you run it through RekordBox and then you export. So you could go here, export playlist. If I select this playlist, I could, if I plug in a USB, this right here will highlight and it'll say export playlist, and then you export it to that USB. And so that way the CDJ will read the waveform and read the song. If you don't do that, it's just gonna, it's like you're gonna be browsing through a folder with music on your CDJ, and you're gonna have no information. It's gonna have no BPM, no cue points, no beat grid. And I mean, at the end of the day, I'm sure you could kind of get through it, but it's going to be really tough to transition well and to beat match and to, you know, do an overall good set. So you have to prepare your stuff in RekordBox ahead of time. So now this song right here is a perfect example of the preparations I need to do. So these right here are the beat grids. So it read the BPM, which is 106, but it didn't catch the beat grid properly for whatever reason. Sometimes RekordBox does that. You have to be aware of that and make sure you catch that kind of stuff so that you're not, you know, caught in the middle of your set and you know your beat is off. So what you got to do in order to adjust the beat grid, and the reason why I say that is because this red dot right here, these red arrows is where the first beat is supposed to be, but obviously the first beat is right here. So you go over here to grid, and then you just hit that red one, and it'll shift everything over. And since the BPM is correct, it's just going to shift all of them. So now you'll see that the red line comes at every first beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So now let's set a cue point. So now the thing with RekordBox is there's two types of cue points. There's a hot cue and a memory cue. The hot cue are the colored ones. Set the first hot cue right there. And these, when you're playing on a CDJ, you just hit your A or your cue button, and it jumps back to it no matter what. Even if it's paused and you hit the cue point, it's going to start playing. Okay. So that's kind of more like for like quicker cues when you're going to drop a song. Now the other cue is a memory cue, which is a cue that's just stored that you can recall basically once you're on the CDJ. So in order to set a memory cue, you go to the point where of the song that you want to set it, you hit cue, and then memory. And then you'll see over here that the memory cue comes up. And so once you hit the memory cue, it'll take you back there, but it won't play. You know, so it just takes you there. It's like it's in its memory, I guess. That's why they call it that. So if we want to set another second one, say we want to set a memory cue right where the lyrics start, you hit cue, memory. Now here's the other one. So over here. This one. And what's cool about these memory cues is you can actually name them. So we can put verse. Or this one's going to be start. You can name them right there. And so this name will come up in your CDJ and it'll show you where you want to go. The hot cue won't be named or anything. But like I said, this is for like more faster stuff. Okay. Now from here, once you go through your tracks, you know, set your cue points, make sure your beat grid is on. Down Trump. Fuck down Trump. Rich, but I've been broke. Last night I had then you go to your sync manager, and this is where you sync your playlist to your USB. And then once you plug that USB into a CDJ, all your music will come up, your playlist will come up, and your cue points and all that good stuff as well. Another thing you guys would want to know would be about setting loops. So that's another thing. You could set a loop on the fly on a CDJ, but you can also set preset loops in RekordBox. So, but you would have to do that before you export your music. So, what you basically do is it's called like a memory loop. Set a loop, hit memory, and you'll see up here it comes up as a loop. So now I could go to another song. Let's bring this one back. Here's my loop. I could activate it. So basically with RekordBox, you're doing a lot of your setup and all that stuff, ahead of time. So it takes a lot of preparation, but I think it's worth it. I think being prepared helps you drop the best set you can. When you know your music well, when you know where your cues are, where your loops are, it'll help you navigate through the night a little bit better and through your music. So, it is a little tedious, but it'll help you a lot, and you don't have to be carrying around a backpack and a laptop. I'm always scared that my laptop is going to get stolen at a gig, or my backpack and stuff. So whenever I get to only take a USB, I worry a lot less, because I could just keep that in my pocket and just remember to take it out once you're done. See, loops, memory cues, hot cues, your playlists. Yeah, I think that's about it here for RekordBox. This is very basic, very intro. But yeah, it takes a lot of preparation, and just keep in mind that you sometimes you can't search for music on CDJs. So, having good playlists and good folders, can really help you and make a difference, so that where your music is, you can get to it quickly, and so you keep your flow of the night going. I think that's what I got for RekordBox right now. So I'll catch you guys next time.